Welcome to this explainer. All right, let's just dive right into a universal struggle I know we all share. You know that feeling when you have a massive project looming and you find yourself literally just staring at a wall, waiting for a bolt of motivational lightning to hit you? We have all been there. But the research we're exploring today completely flips that narrative on its head. It actually argues that waiting for inspiration is the exact thing destroying your productivity. So let's unpack a really fascinating concept called the neutral mood strategy. Waiting for the right mood? Seriously, how many times have you told yourself, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow when I feel more energized, or I'm just not in the right headspace for this yet? You're basically waiting for the stars to align, for your energy to peak, for this perfect, magical mood to wash over you before you finally take action. Well, stop. Just stop right there. This concept demands a hard stop to that entire mindset. We have to completely sever the connection in our brains that says taking action actually requires feeling inspired first. Section 1. The Emotional Hype Trap. Why waiting for inspiration keeps you stuck. We usually view getting hyped up or motivated as a really good thing, right? Like it's the ultimate productivity tool. But the hype trap actually reveals this as a massive vulnerability. It's essentially the habit of relying on emotional hype and waiting for that sudden surge of motivation to strike before you even begin a task. And it turns out, this is a pretty dangerous illusion. So let's break down exactly why this is so damaging. First off, it creates this intense reliance on emotional hype. Think about it. If your brain genuinely believes that can only work when you're feeling a 10 out of 10, what happens on a random rainy Tuesday when you're just exhausted? Well, nothing happens. You become caged by your own fluctuating emotions. You aren't making progress. You are literally just perpetually stuck waiting. Moving on to Section 2, the neutral mood strategy, the systematic approach to taking action. Just look at the contrast in energy here. Relying on emotional hype is honestly like riding an exhausting roller coaster. You're constantly having to manufacture enthusiasm just to knock out your basic tasks. The neutral mood, on the other hand, is grounded. It's reliable. It's the difference between crossing your fingers and hoping for a good day versus systematically designing one. So what exactly is this neutral mood strategy? Put simply, it's the practice of starting tasks without requiring any emotional spike or hype beforehand. Think about brushing your teeth or doing the dishes. You don't need a massive motivational speech in the mirror to do them, right? You're just neutral. The key takeaway here is applying that exact same psychological baseline to your most important work. The core directive of all this is incredibly simple. Start tasks in a neutral mood. I really want you to let that sink in for a second. You don't need to be excited to start. You don't need to feel absolutely unstoppable. Neutrality is your new launchpad for action. Section 3. Forging Unstoppable New Habits. How to lock in your progress. Now, the secret weapon to completely bypassing that emotional hesitation is something called an implementation intention. Basically, these are fixed plans designed to systematically turn an action into an absolute unstoppable habit. It isn't a vague, wishy-washy goal like, oh, I'll work out more. It is a rigid plan, like at 7 a.m., I will put on my shoes and run for 20 minutes. Because the decision is already pre-made, the plan dictates the action, not whatever mood you happen to be in. Let's walk through the exact step-by-step process to finally break out of this trap. Step 1. Discard the hype. You have to actively give up the illusion that you need to feel motivated. Step 2. Set that implementation intention. Decide exactly what you're doing and when. Step 3, when the time comes, just start the task in a neutral mood. Don't even check your emotional temperature. And step 4, over time, taking action like this systematically rewires your brain, and that action becomes an unstoppable habit. Fixed plans equal unstoppable habits. When you combine a solid fixed plan with the willingness to just execute it in a neutral mood, you completely remove the friction. You are no longer at the mercy of how you happen to wake up feeling on any given morning. You effectively trade the hype trap for reliable, steady momentum. I want to leave you with a bit of a challenge based on everything we've unpacked in this explainer today. Right now, at this exact moment, your mood is probably pretty neutral. Your heart isn't pounding, you aren't jumping out of your seat with hype, and that is perfectly fine. The trap is officially dismantled. The plan is in your hands. So, what will you do next?